This is your Weather Extreme video for Wednesday, December the 30th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Well, the weather has turned wet once again as rain returned overnight. The surface map shows that we still have high pressure off to our west, but the front has returned a little bit to the north. So it has allowed rain to move back into central Alabama. And there's a look at the latest radar image before we go on to the upper air chart, which shows that we do have a bit of a trough over the western part of the country, and our overall weather system is going to be morphing finally and getting us out of this southwesterly flow, which has been keeping us rather wet. Temperatures this morning and temperatures overnight did not fall back a great deal. We were bottoming out this morning around the lower 50s for most locations. And it looks like we probably will not see temperatures change much today, thanks in part to the fact that we have rain going on off and on throughout the day today. So if you're heading out to the Birmingham Bowl, be sure to take your rain gear because you will probably need it out there. Watch warning map shows a little bit less confusion than we saw a couple of days ago. But we still have flood warnings in that bright green color in the middle part of the country. We still have some flash flood watches along the eastern part of the country where we're getting this training of echoes over an area as long as that front stays in the area. And then we do have some of those purple colors you see are winter storm warnings. Storm Prediction Center is not outlooking any severe weather for the next 3 days, and day one shows that we basically have the possibility of some thunder along the eastern U.S. and southeastern U.S. coast. All right, we're going to take a look at the 06Z GFS model run, and there's the weather pattern for midday today, about noon. And indeed, it looks like we're going to see rain off and on through much of the day today. And precipitable water values indeed have come back up considerably. We did dry out, at least for one day. That was nice. But precipitable water values are up to close to 2 inches in the southeast part of the state. And so we're looking for the possibility of some significant rains over the area. The upper air pattern on Thursday shows that we are beginning to morph into a longer wave trough over the eastern half of the country. That's going to take a couple of days for that to occur. In the meantime, the front will still be in position to possibly give us a little bit of shower activity, but the main threat is going to be further to the south across South Alabama and the northwest Florida coast. Friday, the trough begins to carve out over the eastern part of the country, and that's going to spell a change to some colder weather for us as we finally can push that wet weather and the high precipitable water values off the coast and out into the Gulf of Mexico. But by Saturday, we see that we do have this more or less long wave trough position over the eastern half of the country. So that's going to put some freezing temperatures into our forecasts for morning lows, especially on Saturday and Sunday morning, and maybe even Monday morning. The trough stays with us on Sunday, so it's going to be still a very cool morning. And even on Monday, we see that the trough is still there. However, after Monday, the ridge comes over us from the west, so we should see by Tuesday, we should see things begin to warm up a little bit as we're waiting for the arrival of the next system, which is likely to come about midweek. And by Wednesday, we see another short wave coming out of the southwestern United States, so that is likely to bring us another round of wet weather. So at least we'll have a few days over the weekend with some dry weather. Looking out into Voodoo country, we come under a ridge around the 8th of January, but as you can see, the weather pattern remains very active with a nice closed low over the eastern Great Lakes, as well as a closed low just to the east of Denver. By the middle of the Voodoo period, we see a nice trough coming out of the Rocky Mountains, and that will be butting up against the ridge, but that should bring us another round of wet weather around the 10th or so of January. And then by the end of the period, around Wednesday the 13th, we see that we're once again establishing the more long-range trough position over the eastern half of the country, so that should spell a nice cool down. Of course, remember, it's Voodoo country, so all this may be missing tomorrow. That'll do it for the Weather Extreme video for this morning. I expect to have the next one posted by 8 a.m. or so on Thursday morning. Be sure to stay with the blog for updates on Alabama's ever-changing weather pattern. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.